A vajankle.
What do you do with it?
You put your cock in this part with the vagina, and then you play with the foot.
In a world where people kill for money, there are two characters that come to mind specifically. And these are two of my favorite TV hitmen from two of the most underrated shows of all time that you probably never heard of. Barry.
Barry, run!
No.
Barry's bagging some tea!
No.
Don't pull that gun at me.
There we go. Barry Berkman. Let's see how the hitman turned actor fares against Ray Shoesmith, the hitman turned cab driver, aka Mr. Inbetween. For those who haven't watched the show either, I'm going to briefly break down both shows, dive into the personalities, military history, and hitman experience. Then decide if both were given a contract for each other, which one walks away alive. Let's go into Mr. Inbetween first, since I know the least about his background. Ray Shoesmith is a bouncer at a strip club who works for the owner as a part-time hitman, or maybe he's a part-time bouncer, who knows. Anyway, Ray is a father, and a pretty good one at that, honest one too.
Santa's like a myth.
Has a brother with ALS that he takes really good care of, and is very loyal and always there for his friends. He's constantly helping his friends out of jams, small and big, at the drop of a hat. Ray is practical, calm, and pretty reasonable for someone in his line of work, mostly because he compartmentalizes almost everything, always draws a line between his action and emotions, but it eventually eats away at him until he retires to a much simpler life. He extends respect to those who are respectful, and to the ones who are not.
You right, old man?
For as calm as Ray is, he will resort to violence for very small situations that a more well-adjusted person would just decide to let go and not extend the effort to teach humility lessons. Ray and his brother were abused by their father due to his drug and alcohol abuse to cope with the PTSD from the Vietnam War. Although Ray doesn't always express his emotions, he is willing to have the conversation if confronted and try to really understand where his daughter or his girlfriend are coming from when they are having intimate conversations. Even willing to open up about his childhood trauma. Ray isn't a couples therapist, but he is very emotionally intelligent and observant for a killer, which is probably one reason he's so good at his job. Not to say that Ray doesn't hold on to a lot of shit like past bullying and resentment for his father, that he definitely carries with him in his actions and how he views the world, but he's aware of it. He knows he keeps these chips on his shoulder, and that causes him to have little patience for injustice or unfair treatment. And like most, he's more open with those closest to him rather than strangers, which is as relatable as his anger issues, which I think is well represented in a more grounded way than most media has ever done. All of his actions are justified as far as he's concerned. It's normal to throw someone through glass for being a dick or shooting up an innocent family's home under false assumptions, and an apology should be appropriate for both. Although Ray gets paid to kill and treats it like a day job, from time to time Ray exacts vigilante justice. Ray is mostly freelance, taking the bulk of his jobs from Freddie, who owns the strip club he bounces at. With his military training, it explains why he's so skilled with weapons and some hand-to-hand situations. Ray has shown that he not only knows his way around guns, but mini shovels and ukuleles. No. He's shown to be very strategic throughout the show, from setting traps, reading his enemy's next moves to set them up, waiting until the right moment to strike, never seeming too nervous or jumpy, just very calculated. Here are some feats from Ray. Killing Deveros and his men with strategy, foresight, and patience for the perfect opportunity. Survived a two-man ambush by a biker gang. Came out on top after an ambush by Raphael set up by Freddie. Side note, a lot of people believe that Ray served in Afghanistan, even though it was never explicitly said in the show, only that he served in the military. Barry is also an ex-soldier, a Marine specifically, and unlike Ray, the show shows Barry in the elements of war, which is not so great for him. And also, unlike Ray, Barry doesn't have a community around him. No family, no real friends, no one but Fuchs. Fuchs employs Barry as a hitman and has known him since he was a child through his dad. Barry has always been the odd man out, never a part of the crowd, but always yearning for a belonging. I'm not going to diagnose Barry, but he clearly suffers from PTSD in the worst way. Barry is controlling, narcissistic, self-centered, and a lot more.
Why'd you just say that?
Which culminates in his anger issues, which is far worse than Ray's, where he goes into blind rages that can end very badly for those around him. Before acting, Barry's life was simple. He killed, played video games like Ray, but this is kind of where it ends. And even when he becomes an aspiring actor, he's around more people, but he's still pretty lonely. And I think he recognizes it. Barry is definitely a more high-profile killer than Ray. He travels between states, he has a budget, works with high-level organized criminals. Ray mainly stays in and around Sydney. Once Barry begins acting, he has a community in a very surface level way. Barry often romanticizes these relationships as more than what they are, like with Cousineau, Sally, at times Fuchs, depending on where they stand at the moment. Barry only really cares about furthering his own goals, no matter who he has to kill, no matter how it affects their life. As long as Barry perceives his life as getting better or staying out of trouble, he's fine with it. I don't think Barry knows what being a good or normal person looks like due to his own brain and upbringing, which is why his actions torture him to the point of breaking down, but he still won't stop doing what he's doing out of necessity, out of staying out of jail. He feels he deserves a clean slate, no matter how many times it takes and who he has to hurt, but he has his moments where he doesn't want to live anymore. Barry needs psychiatric help that he had in Germany after his service, but Fuchs fucked that up. Let's get into feats. Has killed other hitmen, sniped 3 people from 700 yards away, killed Chechens from outside a garage, killed the dirt bike crew, cleared a warehouse with some help, killed a monastery full of Burmese and Chechen mafia, won a fight against the Taekwondo master, and survived a demon child. Now let's get into a scenario where Ray gets a contract for Barry.
Nye.
Seeing as Ray never left the States, I'm going to put Barry in Australia on another mission. Let's say he's going to kill Freddy because it's Freddy. He succeeds. It's caught on camera the way Barry tends to do. Now Ray, still assuming Freddy is a friend, hunts him down and stalks him. It's only one guy, so Ray will most likely not employ Gary or Dave to help him out. Unless he sees how proficient the hit is, then he might. Either way, I think Ray has a better chance of walking away alive if he has his friends to help. I see Barry being able to evade any lasting damage from an ambush, neutralizing Gary or Dave or both, then evading Ray long enough for him to run out of bullets. At this point it's hand to hand, which I think Barry has a huge advantage in. Ray is very good at improvising with what he has around him, so I can see him hurting Barry in an exchange, but ultimately getting killed if he chooses to stick around instead of finding an escape strategy and regrouping. But seeing as his ambush would make more sense in the countryside and Barry would most likely not be there because he'd have no reason to be out there, I'm counting out that scenario. In a solo operation, I can see it being more even. If Ray catches him off guard or lights up his car like he's done before, Barry is pretty lucky when it comes to not being shot. Barry alone in his hotel or Airbnb, Ray sneaking in or already in the room is his best chance, then taking him countryside to kill and bury him. Ray won't risk being seen in public holding Barry at gunpoint, and that would give him more opportunity to escape. Ray can't beat him up, and he will not tie him up by himself. What Ray will most likely do is have Barry zip tie himself up and escort both of them to the trunk where he'll put Barry. Already have a grave dug on the countryside ready for him. And because Barry is always bailed out of death by luck or for humor's sake, he'll have no one there to do that for him because he's out of country. So in this universe, Barry gets one between the eyes again.
Oh, wow.
And is buried in Australia somewhere. That's if Ray takes him serious as a threat and fellow hitman. In a situation where Ray doesn't take Barry serious and he tries his tough guy routine, which I doubt he would because of how perceptive he is, Ray dies right there in the room in brutal fashion. Barry either leaves or buries him countryside. Now let's switch to Barry having a contract to kill Ray. Ray is dead. More likely without seeing Barry coming, catches him at home, in his car, wherever. Ray's catching a headshot or tight groupings to the heart.
Busted up a frickle.
I like Ray. He's definitely a better, more well-adjusted person, but I think Barry is just more battle-tested against more formidable competition. I think Ray dies against a lot of what Barry has faced. Like, Ronnie would kick Ray's head in, and I think Barry would cakewalk through a lot of Ray's shootouts and odd jobs. But if Barry had as many attachments outside of himself like Ray, he would have raged out and mass murdered a lot of Australians and would likely be in jail for the rest of his life. But luckily they don't have a death penalty, so he'll have a good chance of escaping. So in conclusion, Ray needs to be on his P's and Q's to pull out a win, where it's just business as usual for Barry. Barry wins.
Barry's bagging some tea.
Disneyland? Where? Aye? Nay.
The whole world's changing. Even I see that now. Our time is pretty much past. They don't want folk like us no more. This very rules will be damned with you. No more outlaws. No more killers. Now it's us being hunted. Oh, they ain't stopping. We went and made our choices a long time ago, so I guess we gotta pay for our sins.
Oh, Arthur. What a sad world we live in.
Aye, nay. Didn't use no franger neither. Stop a fucking ear bashing.